Hey guys, so we're going to record. The Devils are playing the Pittsburgh Penguins tonight. Everything's fine. Everything's completely normal. The sky isn't falling. I promise. Look away. Look away from everything else that's going on. Maybe I should just repeat that 9 times to hammer it home.
You're Locked On Devils, your daily podcast on the New Jersey Devils.
Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Well, this is Locked On Devils, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, now the #1 sports podcast network in the world. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Before tip-off, check the FanDuel app and see what's dropping during NBA Happy Hour every Friday from 6 to 7:30 p.m. Eastern. My name is Zach Berman. I'm the host of this show. Okay. I hit record at the end of the second period during Tuesday night's game. The New Jersey Devils were losing 5-0 to the New York Islanders, an incredibly embarrassing performance. When I hit stop record, the New Jersey Devils were losing 7-0 in the middle of the third period to the New York Islanders. One of the worst losses in recent franchise history. When the game ended, the final score was 9-0. The worst loss in franchise history in almost 40 years. The team is completely collapsing. Nobody seems to care. They didn't take a single penalty in a game where they lost 9-0. They didn't take a single penalty. How do you even do that? The Islanders scored all of that at 5-on-5. Like, what? So what do the Devils do? They come out the very next day for practice. And as if nothing had happened, same coach, same GM, same roster with a couple tweaks. Oh, look, Jonathan Kovacevic is back. Oh, look, Simone Nemec is back. Oh, look, Evgeny Dadonov's alive. Oh, look, we're doing a $300 million renovation that's coming out of taxpayers' pockets for the arena. That's actually very, very notable, and we'll talk about that at a later date. Not today. This isn't about that. Oh, look, the Devils play the Pittsburgh Penguins tonight. They're probably going to win. Why? Because they usually win in Pittsburgh also. Why? Because it would be so incredibly typical for them to win a game on the road, I might add, to take everybody's minds off of the current disaster. You don't just brush a 9-0 loss to a divisional opponent on national television under the rug like nothing happened. To me, that was tangible proof because ownership was in the building for that game. Ownership was there. They saw it happen with their own 2 eyes. And it is proof that ownership does not care about winning. And I know that there are some people that follow me on Twitter. Yeah, hi, Fred Peters. I'm looking at you. That are hearing people like me say that and are sitting there popping the little confetti streamer guns and going, yeah, that's what we've been waiting to hear people say. I had heard it for years. Deep down, I knew that it was probably correct. I just didn't want to fully believe it. That the New Jersey Devils are okay with what is happening. They are okay with losing 9-0 to the New York Islanders and not changing a damn thing. They are okay with the fact that their GM has effectively neutered a cup window that never even opened. That is okay to ownership. That is what they have accepted. Those are the standards. The standards are dead. Dan Duggan of the Athletic wrote a great article that said the New York Giants have no standards after they announced that Joe Shane was staying. I aim for this episode to be the New Jersey Devils version of that, because I don't know what the equivalent to losing 9-0 in a hockey game is in football. But whatever it is, the New Jersey Devils just did that and ran it back in a season where they needed to prove to their fan base, to the world, that they were not fraudulent, mentally weak losers. And instead, they have proven to everybody that needs to know that they are fraudulent, mentally weak losers. But to go about that game the way they did, so nonchalantly, or nonchalant, grammar, it was a disgrace. It was a disgrace. Like, yes, I was a sales rep. I get that it's their job. I had to email people the day after the Michael McLeod and Cal Foote news broke. The day after they were announced that they were no longer on the roster. I begged and pleaded to not have to pick up the phones that day, because it would make the organization look terrible. And you know what I was told? Probably the same thing that anybody who didn't want to pick up the phone yesterday or send out that email after a 9-0 loss was probably told the same thing. Suck it up, Buttercup. And that all comes from the top. This organization cares about nothing other than how much money they can take out of your pockets. So you simply should not give them any more. That is how I feel. That is just the reality of this situation. If they cared about winning, a 9-0 loss to the New York Islanders where your goalie breaks a record for the statistically worst goaltending performance since that kind of metric was tracked in 2007. You do nothing? That just tells me you don't care. I wonder if they're okay with the fans not caring. The fans care more than the team. The fans care more than management. The fans care more than ownership. We should never be in that situation as people that watch a professional sports team. We should never be in that spot. And yes, I know that there are people that are saying, yeah, I was right all along. I wish you weren't. Yeah. I'm not going to throw a party for you. In hindsight, there were a lot of little moments that made it pretty obvious that this was the case. They led a season where the Devils came in top 3 in Stanley Cup odds in 23-24. Let a season die on the vine. There are no standards. The standards are losing, mediocrity, and sitting on your hands and doing nothing. That is what the team is okay with. That is what they care about. That is what they want your perception of them to be. And my perception of them to you is that you shouldn't spend a damn cent in this team. And that pains me to say because I love the New Jersey Devils. I know there are people on this godforsaken app that is Twitter saying, I'm not rooting for this team ever again. I'm a big Devils account now. I'm a Buffalo Sabres fan now. This team could trade everybody worth a damn off this roster. They could lose every game 9-0 for the rest of the year. I'd still show up. A, because I'm a glutton for punishment, and B, because I love the New Jersey Devils and they're my hockey team. It's going to take a lot more than 9-0 to get rid of me as a fan. But that's all it took to get rid of me as a customer. You ain't getting my money anymore. Stop emailing me. Devils play the Penguins tonight. I feel like even talking about that game in a traditional sense is acting like the Devils are. It's business as usual. Divisional matchup against the Pittsburgh Penguins. Sidney Crosby has 9 points in the last 5 games. Oh no. Pittsburgh's actually been pretty good. Devils beat them. Chicago Cut incident. So basically in a different season. Pittsburgh's 20-12-9, which is pretty good considering where they were expected to be this year. Their goaltending, bad. Stuart Skinner, Artur Shilovs, both bad. Jacob Markstrom has an .878 save percentage. I doubt he's going tonight. There's no way in hell he's going tonight, right? Right? You'd think you wouldn't think so. But Jake Allen, almost assuredly in net. And typically I like to record these after practice so I can get a sense on lineups, but I don't think I need practice to tell you who's in net for the New Jersey Devils tonight because Jacob Markstrom statistically had the worst percentage in a single game by a single goalie since the league started tracking that stat. It was history. We had a Devils fan throw a jersey on the ice on Long Island. And nobody cared. Ownership was in the building with Tom Fitzgerald. That was his hockey team. That is what he built. Nobody cared. Why do you expect the fans to care? I'm caring because I'm a sicko and it's also my job to care. But why are you expecting other people to care? Because then they're going to act all shocked when people are like, you know what? I'm not spending money on this anymore. They're going to be completely flabbergasted. It's all a gigantic farce is what it is. It is a farce and a joke, and yet the funniest outcome is the Devils are going to win tonight. And then they're going to be like, see, everything's okay. Who do they play after this? Oh, yeah, they play Winnipeg, a team in a very similar spot to the New Jersey Devils. See, everything's okay. They'll beat Winnipeg on Saturday or on Sunday. And then the game that will mean everything. The Hughes Bowl in St. Paul. And they're going to get crushed. And they're going to come back home against the Kraken, who are pretty bad and will probably lose to them. But if you get your hopes up through that, the Carolina Hurricanes are in town on the 19th of January. Woohoo! It's so disappointing because unless, barring a complete miracle, the New Jersey Devils find a way to completely flip the front office this offseason, this is not salvageable. Like, whatever window there was is shut. You're going to have to blow it up. You're going to have to start all over. Like, this is done. This is done. This is going to be a long, slow, painful trip back to the bottom where you're going to have to restart this whole process, all because you hired the wrong general manager. This is the worst case scenario in every way, shape, and form. It's devastating. But the reality is, the players are losers. I watched San Jose and LA last night. You don't see San Jose's kids, their first-round picks. You don't see them giving up. You don't see them pouting when things don't go their way. How did this team become so okay with I mean, I guess I'm going to answer that question. I think it comes from the top down. I think it really comes from the top down. And it is devastating to me as somebody who lives and dies by whether this team plays well or not on a nightly basis. I was living and dying by this team before this podcast. I'm going to live and die by them after. Hopefully I have this podcast for a long time. But I did promise something fun. Well, it might be a very different definition of fun than what you may have. And we'll get to it after this break, because today's episode is once again brought to you by the lovely folks over at FanDuel. NFL Wildcard Weekend is here. It's going to be an absolute blast of a weekend. Then FanDuel is officially in playoff mode. Every game day during the NFL playoffs, FanDuel is giving customers even more ways to get in on the action, because right now, every NFL playoff game day, FanDuel users get a profit boost pack waiting for them inside the app. Each game day, you're going to see a pack loaded with multiple profit boosts you can apply to the bets you like most. So every play feels bigger, and the boosts make you feel your bets. Ooh, wow. Every play feels bigger, and the boosts make your bets feel that way too. You make your picks, then apply your profit boosts to go after even bigger payouts while the playoffs get rolling. So visit FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL, and grab your profit boost pack every NFL playoff game day. All right. Are we ready for this? The first two times I tried to record this segment, my voice went. So we're going to take it from the top. The Devils lost to the Islanders 9-0 on Tuesday. Despite that, the Devils outshot the Islanders 44-24. Jacob Markstrom gave up 7.5 goals above expected. He gave up 9 goals total. And you know what we're going to do about that? Let's play one of them. Take 3. Here we go. 1 minute and 8 seconds into the first period. Matthew Barzal left all alone at the right circle, or the left circle. We're already off to a terrible start. 1-0 Islanders. He beats Markstrom on the one-timer. 4 minutes and 1 second into the first period. Already 1-0. Brett Pesce, he pinches way too hard, and the Isles are off to the races 3-on-1. Yet a savable puck for a normal goalie, not Jacob Markstrom. Duclair through the 5-hole and off the far post and in. 2-0 Islanders. 13-31 in the first period. The Devils have gotten plenty of shots on Ilya Sorokin. Nothing to show for. Another bad pinch. Hello, Connor Brown. Back the other way comes Anthony Duclair. He shoots it right at Jacob Markstrom. Right through Jacob Markstrom. 3-0 Islanders. We go to the second period. 3 minutes and 29 seconds into the second period. Barzal from Tony DeAngelo. He gives it back. And then Anthony Duclair from the right circle this time slams one through Markstrom. It is a natural hat trick. Throw the freaking hats. 4-0. 11 minutes and 12 seconds into the second period. Ryan Pulock to Matthew Barzal. He throws it on goal. Markstrom should cover it up. He doesn't. Simon Holmstrom tucks it past him. 5-0. That's when I started recording. 1 minute, 34 seconds into the third period. Luke Hughes gives the puck away to Casey Cizikas, who is going back the other way. Cizikas shoots it off of Luke Hughes past Jacob Markstrom. Luke Hughes has 3 own goals in 2 games, 6-0. Cody D'Angelo wide open in the slot. He shoots it right at Jacob Markstrom and goes right through him. From Duclair and Shabanov, 7-0. The extra point is good. 8-0. 18:36 to go. 18:36 in the third. Cal Ritchie, you gave up a goal to Cal Ritchie? Shoots it at Jacob Markstrom. It goes through him. And then, I guess it's the safety on top of it. Because Casey Cizikas, again, from Duclair, and you gave up an assist to Scott Mayfield. What the hell? 9-0. My voice didn't go. This is a clown show, guys. This is an utter clown show. All of that, and Jake Allen was never once put in the game. And I get it. Sheldon Keefe has been very adamant that you can tell he does not like Tom Fitzgerald. You can just tell. But the decision to keep Jacob Markstrom out there, that's a message. Oh, yeah. They can't even get rid of Jacob Markstrom because he's got a 2-year, $6 million extension that is yet to kick in. It is yet to kick in. What? What? So, yeah, that's all I got for today, well, at least this morning. We'll talk after the game tonight. Let's see if they give us something to smile about for once or laugh about in a more cynical fashion. This is Locked On Devils. Thanks for stopping by.